Hello, I'm Courtney, and today I'm going to be discussing The House of Hades by Riordan. If you didn't know already, I'm rereading Heroes of Olympus this summer. I've been over this before, but I'm doing reviews on all the books, and I'm talking about the fourth book today. I had a lot of fun rereading this book. There was a lot I actually didn't remember, but when it came to the Percy and Annabeth stuff, of course, I didn't forget any of that because, you know, they're in the deepest pit of hell, so really hard to forget. But I can't really say much for this book since it's the fourth one because there's major spoilers. So if you have not read The House of Hades yet and you do not want to be spoiled, I would leave right now. So goodbye, not spoilerly people! Alrighty, so House of Hades. God, this book hurt. So this book goes back and forth between Tartarus and just Earth, and everyone that's still on the Argo II trying to get to the doors of death so they can save Percy and Annabeth, who are in Tartarus. And I really liked the back and forth because it felt like a movie sort of, and it would just end on these cliffhangers, and it was just really well done. I'm going to talk about Percy and Annabeth being in Tartarus first, just because I remembered so much of their storyline, because like I said, it's very hard to forget your favorite ship in the world being in hell. But even though I pretty much remembered everything that happened to Percy and Annabeth in this book, that didn't stop me from feeling pain and suffering because it still really hurt to reread their scenes. When Percy and Annabeth are still falling into Tartarus and Annabeth whispers in Percy's ear that she loves him, I wanted to go jump off a cliff because that scene hurts so much, because she thinks she's gonna die and she says, if I am, then I want those to be my last words, and I was like, ain't no way, I cannot. This is the first time in Percy and Annabeth's life where they think, oh my god, I actually might not be able to get out of this, because they've been through pretty much everything prior to falling to hell, but this is a whole nother level, because this is monster territory, and they are the invaders, and they pretty much killed all the monsters that are now roaming in Tartarus, and I was like, this is just unfair. But there were some good monsters in hell. Bob the Titan and Jameson the Giant, and I would actually die for these two. I love it when Bob is introduced because Annabeth and Percy are about to be killed by these Impuza, the leader Kelly from Battle of the Labyrinth, and they're just screwed, and all of a sudden a Titan just drops onto the battlefield and destroys everybody, and he's like, I'm Bob, Percy's friend, Bob, 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 and it was just so precious. And with Jameson, I love his friendship with Annabeth and how she makes him realize that he doesn't have to keep living the life that the world has given him. He can go make his own fate, and I love at the end, he comes and he's like, Annabeth, I chose my own fate. It was just so good. Bob and Jameson were honestly the true heroes of Tartarus. Like, I know Percy and Annabeth, for two little demigods, they did a lot in Tartarus, and it's like crazy that they survived, but honestly, they wouldn't have made it without these two, and it was just so emotional rereading them sacrifice themselves for Percy and Annabeth, and how at the end Percy said, to the stars all over, Bob, and I couldn't handle it. But Percy and Annabeth being in Tartarus was honestly more funny than I remembered. Like, one of my favorite scenes is when Annabeth and Percy face Night, and they're talking about how Night isn't in the tourist brochure, and Night's just like, excuse me? And they're talking about how, oh yeah, we saw all these other creatures, but you weren't there, and I was just dying. Overall, Tartarus was a trip, and I think Percy and Annabeth are so much stronger from being through hell, and it just really proved that they can do anything, and I love Jameson and Bob with all my heart, and I'm just so glad Percy and Annabeth made it out. Now I'm going to talk about the other storyline in this book, which is the rest of the seven that's still on the Argo II trying to get to the doors of death. One of the biggest things in this book is Hazel needing to learn how to control the mist. And when this was brought up in the very beginning, I swear to God, I did not know what was going on. I feel so bad for forgetting this plot point because it's huge and it really takes Hazel's character to another level. But when she met Hecate and they were talking about the mist, I was like, I don't know what this is. But now I will never forget that Hazel can use the mist because she was freaking amazing using the mist at the very end. It was so freaking cool. Another big thing, which I did remember about this book, but another big thing that happens in this book is Leo going to Ogygia and meeting Calypso. I think Leo and Calypso meeting was honestly the highlight of this book because before that it was just all chaos because, you know, Percy and Annabeth are in Tartarus and then everybody else on the Argo Second is fighting monsters and crazy gods every single day. So Leo going to Ogygia was honestly pretty nice because it was just a little break from all the chaos and I really enjoyed it. I love it when Leo lands on the island and he's freaking out because he can't find his sphere and he finds it and all of a sudden he hears this voice yell, "Hey, you landed on my dining table," and Calypso is just pissed that her dining table is destroyed and it was just so good. Their bickering was just 10 out of 10. It was such great humor, but I love how through the bickering there's definitely some developing feelings there. So much when Leo leaves, Calypso kisses him, but I love it when after they kissed she's just like, that didn't happen, and Leo's like, okay. It was so interesting when Leo leaves and he's thinking about the prophecy of 7 because the prophecy says, you know, an oath to keep with final breath, and Leo's like, this is super dangerous. I know I can be jinxing everything right now, but he still promises on the river Styx that he will come back to this island and save Calypso, and that was just such a powerful moment. The last thing I want to talk about is actually not a character in the 7, but good old Nico DAngelo. This book is huge for Nico DAngelo because you find out that Nico is gay and that he had a crush on Percy Jackson, and rereading that scene when he and Jason are talking to Cupid and they're trying to get the scepter, it was such a powerful and emotional scene because Nico has been hiding these feelings for so long, but Cupid's like, this is what you have to do if you want this scepter. You got to admit how you feel. And it was really hard to read. I've always had a complicated relationship with Nico, but in that particular moment I really just wanted to give him a hug because he's been through so much and he's always felt like he's an outsider because he's from another century. He's a child of Hades, but this part of him, he truly believes that no one will understand, no one will accept, and I just wanted to hug him and tell him, you're not alone, you have people who love you and will accept you, like you don't have to hide from this. And that's basically what Jason told him, but then he just pushed him away and that made me want to slap him because all I want is for Nico to be happy and for him to open up because there are people that will understand him and accept him. Nico just needs to learn to love and accept himself before he can let other people in, and I hope that really shines in the next book because I honestly don't remember what happens to Nico on Olympus, but I hope he just really grows and starts to love himself. But I think that's all I have to say for House of Hades. Overall, this was such a wild, insane roller coaster, but I enjoyed every second of it. I can't believe I only have one more book to reread, and honestly, I'm so terrified to reread Blood of Olympus because I have not read it since 2014, and my feelings on it have changed a lot since then, so I have no idea what to expect. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I am Courtney, and I'll see you all next time when we do a video soon, so I will see you then, so bye!